Hey everybody, let's talk about the waiting game on our next short attention span webinar. Kelly, how are you?
I'm doing great, Bill. Thank you.
Well, good. I get so concerned. So here's the situation, Kelly, and I'm sure you get this with your coaching clients, right?
Oh, yeah.
Someone submits a price to a customer. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. We'll get back to you. Or, you know, the decision will be made shortly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the rep makes the mistake of leaving it at that. Then what happens is time goes by and the customer is ignoring voicemails.
Goes dark.
Yeah, goes
Mm-hmm.
dark.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a combination, Kelly, of woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Mm-hmm.
What could you have done, would you have done, should you have done, and what do you do now? So let's start here, okay? What information would we like to have, and what should we have said when we dropped off the quote? Let's make a list. You first.
Okay. I would definitely have wanted to know a time frame of the decision as specifically as possible. We will make the decision by Friday. I would like to know, what kind of a sense of urgency is there in the project? Is this a project that might happen, or is this a project that for sure is happening? And if so, is there a deadline? I'd want to know if I could possibly find out who are my competitors and what does that situation look like. And I would want to be, I would say, are you going to get back to me about this? If so, when? And if you don't, when is it okay for me to get back in touch with you? It's almost like pre-asking for permission to start haranguing them about this.
See, I think that is a clutch one right there. That's clutch right there. I think I would add to that, who is the decision maker? Is it you? Is it a committee? Is it your boss? Because oftentimes what happens is we don't even find that out until this point. We've been dealing with thing one, but it's thing two that's making the decision. Thing one is just a data collector. You know, and that's so frustrating. That's when you know, wow, I should have asked that question a long time ago. The other one that I had, which is kind of a repeat of what you just said, was how do you connect? Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to email you? Can I stop by? Again, getting permission. So that's big. Now, the next part of this is, how often do you call and when do you give up? What are your thoughts on that, Kelly?
Yeah, it's so tricky. I mean, there's kind of a direct correlation to how big the project is and how bad you want it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, at this stage, like, look, you've already gotten a pretty far way in this process if you're doing quotes. So to my way of thinking, if it's a game changer, if this is a project that would really make a difference in your month, I don't think it's inappropriate to call every day or every other day until you get some disposition. Now, you do run the risk of annoying, but in fairness, you're a partner here. You're not just some chump on the street, or at least you shouldn't be. You know, if this is a client that you've done business with before, or if you really view yourself as somebody with some value, then you deserve to be treated with some kind of respect and to have some sort of a final answer on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think the first point there, the correlation between size of project and walking that line, I mean, on average, I might call 2 times, 3 times.
Yeah.
Right in there. My last one's going to be maybe an email, because emails are just a way of slipping a note under the door. But this one is tough. When the client goes dark, make a positive assumption. And the positive assumption is that they've got sidetracked doing something else, but they will get back to you. It's funny. I was on the phone with a client yesterday. I said, just a reminder, this is what you were going to do. And she said, oh, thank you so much for reminding me. Happened twice this week. Yeah, really, kind of got lucky there, I think, a couple of times. But that's the thing. You want to get that information. Without that information and the client goes dark, your options are limited. So that's our point here today.
Well, there's also something, as you talk about the giving up, there's certainly something to be said for, I always talk about throwing somebody else under the bus. It's certainly appropriate to say, my boss is knocking on my door every day asking me what's happening with this project. It's almost like it's not me calling to bug you about it. I've got to tell my boss what's going on.
Sure.
I certainly wouldn't advocate doing that every single time, but there is a time and a place for that kind of a tactic. So just something to think about, something to put in your back pocket.
And you know what, I've also tried saying to someone, you know, we've got some press time coming up, or we don't have a lot of press time coming up. We wanted to schedule it, we want to put you in line. Please let me know, giving it some kind of indication so that you can get what you want when you want it.
Good. That's really good.
So that's the deal, Kelly. Thanks for your help today.
Thanks, Bill.
And we'll talk to you all on another Short Attention Span webinar.